nutrition. I've been scouring over my food logs and my resources in order to walk you through what foods I focused on throughout the day during my first trimester and why. Before I go into the best foods for the first trimester, I want to list off the nutrients that are important, starting with choline, vitamin A, B vitamins like folate, zinc, magnesium, iodine, and vitamin C. If you're like most people, that list kind of just flew over your head because we don't eat vitamin C. We eat fruits and vegetables. We don't eat B vitamins. We eat animal meat. So that's how I'll explain it. Also, I'll share what quality I purchase, what safety things to look out for, and how I cook things up. I focused on dishes that had eggs as a primary ingredient just because I am so aware of how nutrient dense eggs are. Choline is super important during the first trimester and beyond. There is no food that contains as much choline as a single egg yolk. So I did my best to consume at least 3 a day. I found that trying out different forms of egg was super helpful. Figuring out kind of what works for you and what tastes good to you, I find to be super important. Make sure to have those eggs with the yolk. And I say that because the choline inside of the yolk is going to help reduce the risk of neural tube defects during the development of baby in the first trimester, and it's a vital nutrient for brain building. Think the baby's future attention span, social interaction, and memory. If you're someone who doesn't consume eggs, that is when I would highly recommend supplementing with choline because most prenatals do not contain nearly enough of this important nutrient. If a prenatal multivitamin is to provide a pregnant woman with enough choline, it would require her to take 8 capsules. And that's because of the bulky nature of this nutrient. And then you'd have to think about splitting the doses because certain nutrients kind of cancel each other out if they're taken together. Anyways, we have a question. Why do you recommend pasture-raised eggs? Why not the other cheaper eggs at the market? That's because there's a huge safety and vast nutritional difference between eggs of pasture-raised hens and that of commercially raised hens. When it comes to the safety, an egg that is organic or pasture-raised has a 7-time lower risk of having salmonella. Some people are really hesitant to buy pasture-raised eggs because of the price tag. I get it, it is a bit pricier, but what if I told you that a single pasture-raised egg has 2.5 times to 6 times more nutrients than a single commercially raised egg? And yeah, that means you'd have to eat 2.5 or 6 commercially raised eggs in order to get the same nutritional benefits that you would from eating one pasture-raised egg. Let's break the makeup of a pasture-raised egg down a bit further. Pasture-raised eggs have 3 to 6 times more vitamin D. That's a lot, considering that vitamin D is one of those nutrients that are really difficult to get through food in general. And of course, this sunshine vitamin is more abundant in pasture-raised eggs. The hens get regular sunlight on the pasture. That enables them to produce more vitamin D in their eggs. Their counterparts are cooped up in enclosed spaces for much, if not all of the day. And remember, vitamin D is critical for your baby's bone, teeth, immune health, and all that begins in utero. My favorite way to get vitamin D through food, sun-bathed mushrooms. But going back to why you're getting more bang for your buck by buying pasture-raised eggs, they have 2.5 times more omega-3 content. Again, this is huge considering this is one of the main components needed for the human brain to be built from scratch. Finally, I want to harp on the fact that pasture-raised eggs have less than half the amount of omega-6 fats. Think acne, excessive need to urinate, gastrointestinal issues. Upgrading to pasture-raised eggs for the price of a coffee is totally worth it. We covered choline, vitamin D, omega-3. Let's highlight one more. Vitamin A. Visually, when you crack open an egg, you can tell if it has high vitamin A content depending on the color of the egg yolk. The next food I highly recommend all of my clients to consume to get healthy, get pregnant, and have a healthy pregnancy is liver.